Welcome back to Master Tech Miller. My name's Tommy and I'm a Harley Davidson Master Technician here at Darling Downs Harley Davidson in Toowoomba. Alright guys, I've got my hands on a brand new 2022 Lowrider S. As some of you may know, there's been some changes from last year. So we've got the flush mounted console, we've got the relocated speedo, the larger 117 cubic inch Milwaukee 8 engine, the CVO style heavy breather, and the taller 14 inch rear shock. So we've got a little bit extra ground clearance over last year. So today I'm going to be doing a stage 2 kit to this bike. Now, as some of you may know, a stage 2 kit involves cam, exhaust and air filter. Now, given the fact that the bike comes standard with the upgraded air filter from factory, we only need to do the exhaust and the cam. Now, the cam I've chosen for this particular build is from Zippers. It's the RS 472. These guys describe this cam as a bolt-in camshaft for strong mid-range to top-end power while retaining low-end torque. It works well with stock or modified heads and has arm-stretching acceleration up to 6,000 RPM. The exhaust, I'm going to be using this brand new exhaust from Screamin Eagle. It's a 2-in-1 system. Looks quite big, but I don't know. I'm not completely turned off on it yet. I don't know about it. I'm going to get it fitted up onto the bike and see what it looks like on the bike. But yeah, brand new pipe from Screamin Eagle, so I'm very interested to see how that goes. So there's a lot of unanswered questions there. Let's see how this new cam goes, and I'm unsure about this pipe, so look, there's only one way to find out. Let's get this stuff on the bike, get the cam in there, and get it up on the dyno. All right, I've got it outside because I've removed something from the exhaust, and a little bit of dust is probably going to come out of there, so I've just brought it outside. Bloody rain's still hanging around, but let's fire it up and see what it sounds like. Let's not give up on it. Let's get her up on the dyno and see what it does. Right, so as you heard there, it's pretty quiet, but it has a good deep note to it. It's not as loud and barky as I thought it would have been, but let's not write it off yet. I've got the tune just loading in here, or a tune. I will have to do, there'll be a fair bit of tuning involved in this one, I'm sure of it. But look, got a bass map going in there at the moment, and let's just not write it off. Let's see what it does. So let's get straight into it. So I just did the first run there, as you saw, and just felt the tune out just to see what it was like. It is a bit rich, just cruising and that, so I'm going to have to trim it up so it's nice and good around the cruise speeds. Wide open stuff wasn't too bad, a little bit lean to start with, but the rest of it's actually it's not too bad. And the power's there, probably a little bit lower than I would have expected, but being a 117. Well, I realised I didn't do a bloody before run. I should have did a before run on this 117 to see what it made in the stock form, but I would expect probably the 114s are about 80 to sort of 85 on a good day. This 117 I'd probably expect 88, something like that. I wouldn't expect 90 out of it. So we are up to 100 horsepower and 112 foot-pounds of torque. Hopefully you can see that there, guys. So 103, nearly 104 horsepower, and the torque there, 112 foot-pounds of torque. So as you can see, a little bit lean on the front cylinder here, and then a lean spot again. They're pretty good right at the top. Rear cylinder, a little bit lean, and then pretty good. So I will trim that up, and then I'll throw some timing at it and just see what happens. But look, so far so good. So let's keep going and see where we get. Little bit of an improvement there. Still needs a little bit more fuel to start off the run, but we picked up 103 horsepower, so we're now up to 106 and 100. Well, it's actually probably lost half a foot-pound of torque, but not too worried about that at the moment because still got to get this fuel right. The top end's not too bad, both front and rear still pretty good. Probably a little bit fat on the rear, but look, I'll sort that out. I'm just going to keep going and see where I can get to. Okay guys, I've finished up on the tune. The cruise speeds and all that are really nice, so it's going to be very economical, and I've finished up on the top end as well. So I'll show you the finished numbers and then I'll talk you through the changes. As you can see there, we're up to now 108.5 horsepower and 120.7 foot-pounds of torque. That's up from our first run of 103.9 and 112 foot-pounds. That's our first run there. Well, you can see there how lean it was on front and rear cylinder. Pretty lean to start with, and then not too bad, but lean here, rich there, a little bit lean, a little bit rich. Tidied that up, so you can see more fuel now to start with, and pretty level throughout the rest of the tune. If we blow this up to one graph, you can see there how the torque has lifted through the middle. Well, yeah, basically from 2.5 grand and on, it's sort of lifted. Well, it's lifted everywhere, but yeah, this extra little lump in the middle, that's really going to feel good. And the power, you can see, is lifted beautifully all the way through, right through the rev range. Only threw 2 degrees extra timing at it, that's all it took with the trimming up of the fuel. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Like 108.5 horsepower, 120 foot-pounds of torque, that's really good. I mean, I'm kicking myself I didn't put this thing on the dyno stock to see what the 117 makes, but look, I'm assuming it's going to be around 88, something like that. So quite an increase there. Pretty happy with it. So I'm going to take this thing out on the road and see what it's like. Post-ride review. It's not bad, guys. It's really not bad. The only thing I can fault is the note. It's not very loud. For me, I like it to be a bit loud. I know there's a lot of guys out there probably like them a little bit quiet. They don't want to upset the neighbours. They don't want to listen to that bellowing all the time. So maybe that ticks your box. I don't know. But definitely notice the taller rear shock. 100%. There's more ground clearance for sure. And even with that that big 2-into-1 pipe, it's mounted quite high. So with the taller shock and the high mounted 2-into-1, heaps of ground clearance, guys. Really accentuates it. Is that the right word? I don't know. It really complements the bike, being the Lowrider S. A little more aggressive in the turns and getting into it. So really happy with that. I can't fault it. Remember, guys, this is only a stage 2 bike, so 108 horsepower and 120 foot-pounds of torque is really respectable just out of a stage 2 bike. The old twin cams, you know, pretty hot 110 kits sort of struggle to make that sort of power. The only thing I would like to do was just have a little bit more noise out of it. But yeah, other than that, guys, I can't fault it. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up this video. Thank you very much for sticking around to the end and checking it out. If you're new here and you like this sort of stuff, please hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit the bell while you're at it, because I'm a bit slack when it comes to the uploads. I'm not uploading on the regular, guys, so hit that bell and you'll never miss any of the content I put out. But look, I had fun with this new bike and the new pipe and that cam, and yeah, going for a ride. It was really good to see how it came together. So thank you guys for checking it out, and we'll see you again in the next one real soon.